They ended the episode by pulling a gun on George Russell. No warning, no build-up, just 1 second everything was fine, and the next, it was chaos. And somehow, that wasn't even the most shocking thing about this episode. Welcome back. Season 3, Episode 7 of The Gilded Age, titled Excommunicated, just dropped, and it's one of the most dramatic, chaotic, and character-shifting episodes this series has ever delivered. From public disgrace to potential assassination, broken engagements to cold betrayals, this episode didn't just stir the pot, it spilled the whole thing. Let's break down the final moments, the major reveals, and what this all sets up for the finale. George Russell, from victory to violence. Let's start with George Russell. After finally fixing his business troubles with the help of Larry, who pulls off a win in Morenci, George seems ready to turn the page. He's back on track, his empire is stabilizing, and the storm appears to be clearing. And then, gunfire. The episode ends with a shot fired directly at George. We don't see him hit, but the implication is clear. Someone just tried to kill the man at the top. Who pulled the trigger? That remains the cliffhanger. But the list of suspects is long. Rival businessmen, political enemies, or someone entirely unexpected. The Gilded Age is no stranger to class warfare, and George Russell is the face of everything that threatens old money. His survival is uncertain, but the message is clear. Power doesn't come without a target on your back. Ward McAllister's downfall, a man brought down by his own pen. Meanwhile, Ward McAllister goes from high society gatekeeper to social outcast overnight. The release of his book, Society as I Have Found It, a very real historical publication, exposes secrets and shames the very people he relied on for status. It's a bold move, but it costs him everything. Even Bertha Russell, queen of the new money elite, can't save him. In a world where appearances are everything, McAllister learns the hard way that telling the truth can be the fastest way to lose your seat at the table. Marion Brooke, still stuck in her own way. Marion continues her downward spiral into one of the season's most frustrating characters. Despite the evidence, despite the insistence from others that Larry is innocent of any wrongdoing at the Haymarket, she won't listen. She's still holding tight to her decision to end their engagement, and it's costing her. Even Jack Trotter tries to convince her, but Marion is closed off, either from fear, pride, or some misplaced sense of propriety. The audience knows the truth. Larry isn't guilty, but Marion refuses to even hear it. Will she come to her senses in the finale? Or is this the final word on a love story that was just starting to feel real? Bertha Russell, a queen without a kingdom. Bertha Russell is watching everything she built start to crumble, not socially but emotionally. She's forced her way to the top, crushed old money resistance, and got her daughter married to a duke. But now she's alone. Her husband is distant. Her son resents her. And Marion, who she may or may not have manipulated, is gone too. Her ambition was her greatest strength, but in season 3, it's become her greatest weakness. She built the throne. Now she's sitting on it alone. Peggy Scott, haunted by her past. Peggy's story, while quieter this episode, still carries emotional weight. Mrs. Kirkland finally learns the truth about Peggy's baby. A piece of history long known to viewers, but now weaponized by a woman already dripping with prejudice. From the beginning, Mrs. Kirkland disapproved of Peggy, for reasons steeped in racism, classism, and colorism. The revelation gives her exactly the excuse she needs to cast Peggy aside. And yet, William Kirkland still seems to see through his mother's cruelty. Whether that will be enough remains to be seen. But Peggy's place in society is once again under threat. Oscar Van Ryn, mourning and moving forward. And finally, Oscar. Still reeling from John Adams' shocking death in episode 6, Oscar spends this episode in quiet grief. They weren't lovers anymore, but their connection remained. And John's loss leaves a deep, visible wound. What comes next for Oscar is uncertain. He's lost the one person who knew his truth and protected it. But grief has a way of pushing people toward change. This could be the moment Oscar begins to live for himself, or the moment he disappears behind another mask. Conclusion: a final episode full of firepower. Episode 7 ends not with a celebration, not with a cliffhanger romance, but with a gunshot. It's a brutal punctuation mark on a season filled with conflict, ambition, betrayal, and grief. Every character is at a crossroads. George Russell's life is hanging in the balance. Bertha is becoming a stranger to her family. Marion is sabotaging her future. Oscar is burying his past. Peggy is fighting old battles. And Ward McAllister has finally talked his way into exile. With just one episode left, the Gilded Age is poised to either heal or shatter everything we've seen so far. The question is no longer whether these characters will survive society. It's whether they'll survive each other.